When I was 23 years old, my wife passed away in my arms. Our son Samuel was only 5 weeks old at the time. It was in that moment that I realized what life was really about, what priorities were really about. That didn't mean that I suddenly got all the answers. By far, I didn't. I had so much more to learn than I've learned since then. But it really helped me understand how critical life is, how important life is. And when it came time for the details for the funeral, I thought, well, I don't know how many people really knew Sherry. We're just a young couple who had had a child. Nothing spectacular about our lives, not well known whatsoever. Sherry was a bank teller of all things. Well, when it came time for the funeral, I had it there at one of the local funeral homes. The chapel would seat 300. 750 showed up. It was overflowing. Why? Impact, because of Sherry's life, because of the way that she lived. She had 2 simple rules. And rule number 1 was to simply love other people. And rule number 2 was to serve them. When we live a life filled with love and with service, wow, how things change, what impacts are made. And it was made in the life of Sherry by far. And we saw that at the funeral with so many people who showed up for a bank teller. No, for a life changer. For someone who has incredible impact. And you and I, we can live exactly that type of life. And that's really what drives me. And what drives me is not this picture of success that is wrapped up in wealth or is wrapped up in status or position or even achievement. Because if I had not told you this story, you would never have known about Sherry. You still don't know what she looks like, and you barely even know her name or her life. But obviously, hundreds of other people were massively affected by her in a positive way. Well, our lives have that same power as well. When it comes to impact and when it comes to success, sometimes there's this measurement that just seems so lofty and so high that it seems impossible. But what I'm driven is to say, you know what? Every life counts. Every life matters. And even if the name is never known and the action is never global, or even local, if it's just within a very small community of family and friends, the life matters, the impact matters. Other things that drive me are working with orphans, those who are innocent, those who are completely dependent on other people. The life situation that they're in was not desired and it was not decided, but instead we get to make the decision to feed, to clothe, to shelter those who are helpless. And so our lives are not at all about living for us in really any matter, but instead to say, how can I live for other people? And let's say that we're working extremely hard to earn that money or that status or that success that are craved by so many. We're in such a unique position to be able to leverage that success, to be able to leverage that wealth in a way that impacts the lives of other people. Even the lives of people that we will never know the names of. If you're sending money over to a water project in Africa, you will never know the names of the people who drink that water and whose lives are saved, but you made an impact. And the life of the person who is drinking that water and is going out that day to be a friend or to be a great family member over in Africa, you will never know their name, but they're living a life of impact. So what drives me? What am I passionate about? What am I excited about? I'm excited about each of us who are just day by day individuals, maybe unknown in the great scheme of things, yet very known to the lives that we affect. We talk a lot, and we read a lot, and we study a lot about leaving a legacy. Something that can't escape me is I just think we ought to live a legacy. That every day is going to contribute to that final time in which we're departed from this world, but that everyone around us is so glad we lived. When I look at the words that were said at Sherry's funeral, it was so amazing. Even as I drift back, I get a little bit emotional because the words that were spoken about her, the way she loved people, the way that she served people, were so valuable and so rich and so real, and every one of us would love for those words to be spoken about us. Well, how's it happen? It doesn't happen through an accident. It doesn't happen in living a monotonous life day by day without any thought. It happens when we decide that we're going to help other people become better off through our life. That we're going to become better so that our businesses become better, so that our families become better, and so all around us become better as we share our personal value with a world that is desperate for something real and desperate for something lasting.